video, I'm going to show you how to create proven design styles and share my proven strategy for getting sales fast as a beginner on Etsy. This is a strategy that you can easily take and replicate today to get you sales. How I've been able to scale my print-on-demand business rather quickly and earn over $200,000 in revenue and sell over 10,000 products is by not recreating the wheel. What I mean by that is going onto Etsy and looking at what types of listings are selling, what design styles are selling, how are the graphics laid out, are they text-only designs or text with a graphic design? What colors are they using? What fonts are they using? These are all different components of a design that I like to analyze so that I can identify what is working and what I can potentially bring into my own unique version of a design and see success with it. If you are new to my channel, my name is Taylor. Hello. My channel is focused on all things print on demand and passive income. Of course, if that interests you, be sure to go ahead and boop the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. A design style that I've seen emerge in the last few months is one that is very popular amongst the bachelorette niche. And that is this design style that you see here. There is just this simple font across the top, usually with a graphic in the middle and some type of font below. These are all, of course, bachelorette shirts, but this design style, as you can see, as I scroll through, is very popular and it has absolutely flooded this particular niche. What this tells me though is that this is a design style that is clearly very well loved and very well liked. The worst thing that I could do is create another bachelorette shirt that looks just like this, because I'm not going to stand out. I am going to just blend in with all of the other bachelorette shirts that look exactly like this. But because this is a design style that we see is working, what we can do instead is bring this same design style into a completely different niche that doesn't already have designs that look like this. Let me show you what I mean. Jumping into Kittl, I found this design template, which I feel has most of the structure or the bones to the design style that we're looking to recreate, with the text over top, graphic in the middle, and then text along the bottom. And this is something that is easily customizable. I don't know if customizable is a word. It's easily changed so that I can mold this design to whatever niche that I am looking to design for. How I found this template was actually just by on the main homepage of Kittl. At the top, there is a little templates drop down. I more commonly browse through the t-shirts templates, but I've also looked through posters as well as cards before and have found some really great templates in those categories also. But the template that I found was created by a designer named T. Bora. A recent niche that I found to be highly successful on Etsy is the book club niche. As you can see here, I'm using my Everbee Chrome extension to analyze the search results for this niche. And there are tons of shirts and sweatshirts, as well as other products that are generating thousands and even tens of thousands of dollars in revenue every single month. So what I'm going to do is customize this template because it's already a proven design style and bring it to a completely different niche that has demand that doesn't have a design style quite like this in it yet. Here's what I came up with. This literally just took me only a few minutes. That's one of the reasons I love finding design templates, but I just changed out the text. I'm gonna just rename this design Book Club Design. And this design template does have a texture overlay on it. You can see that in the letters. It has that gritty look to it, which is a feature that I do really like. The only thing that I want to make sure that I do to properly export this design when I'm ready to add it to a mockup is I'm going to click Clip Content. That is going to clip the grunge or textured effect directly onto the design, and so that it isn't filling the entire square here. And I also do want to change the color of this design really quick. I am going to just remove the background. That's actually really helpful because now I can see that this design does have a few other elements to it that I want to customize. So for example, with these leaves here, I'm going to get rid of the border. I don't want a border on that at all. And with the texture effect, I actually want the texture to be see-through or transparent. I can change that by clicking this drop down and going to change it to Alpha Mask. And really quick, I'm going to just select all of the elements in this design, and I'm going to just make them black. Perfect. I really like how this looks. I'm going to go ahead and just download that. And here's the design on a mock-up. I think putting the design on a mock-up always just brings it all together so you can really get a vision for what it looks like. And I absolutely love the way this turned out. The next design style that has been popular for quite some time, but still isn't going anywhere, is the retro wavy design style. It has more so recently taken off in the last year with the in my blank era designs. People have taken this phrase and this style and applied it to tons of different niches. And while, in my opinion, that has already been completely overdone, there are still things that we can take from this design style and bring into different niches, as well as in new and unique ways to utilize what's working with this design style and bring a new value to it. The elements of this design style that really stand out to me that I would want to bring into a different design are the retro font style and the wavy text element to it. So in Kittl, I actually have gone ahead and kind of started a template for this because I've used this design style myself and seen tons of success with it. What I tend to use in Kittl when making a design like this is they have a font called Sunny Drop. That is one of my favorite retro fonts to use. And in order to get this wavy look with the text here, I actually use the distort feature. So to show you from scratch how I get this look is I use the distort feature, then I just start angling the text to fit the pattern that I'm looking for. Now I can drag this along so that I can have it at the right angle that I'm looking for. I'm going to curve this down a little bit more, and I usually just kind of play around with it. As I mentioned, the whole in my blank era is not necessarily something that I want to target because it has been really overdone to some extent at this point, but I'm going to still use this similar design style and bring it to a niche that I know has tons of potential in it. And the niche that I'm talking about is the teacher retirement niche. This is a niche that I actually have in my niche calendar. If you want access to that entire year-long calendar, jam-packed with tons of niches, over 80 niches, I have a link to it in the description box below. This is a niche that you are going to want to start to target soon. Generally, this niche really starts to see a spike in sales all throughout May and into June, as that's when most schools in the US are ending their year and teachers are ultimately retiring during that time frame as well. Just scrolling through some of the different products that sell for this particular niche, we can see apparel, we can see a Christmas ornament, as well as there is a candle. So there's tons of different product options. You don't necessarily just have to do apparel. If we go into the product analytics with Everbee, this is a niche that's already seeing thousands of dollars each month in revenue, and it is not at its peak yet. As I mentioned, it is really going to see most of its sales throughout May and into June. I love this design style, and it is one that I don't think is going anywhere anytime soon. The last design style that I have seen getting a ton of attention on Etsy is this design style here. Zooming in on this design, it is pretty simple. They just use the same chicken throughout all of the design. They have a very basic font and just a phrase of things I do in my spare time, all related to somebody who just loves chickens. I can think of tons of other hobbies and interests that this same design style though could be applied to, and that is what I'm going to do with it. For this design, I am going to start a new project in Kittl. When I start a new project, I typically just make the design 5,000 by 5,000, 300 DPI, and go ahead and click create. There is a niche that I already have in mind for this design style that I want to create, and it is for the sourdough bread niche. If you are not familiar with sourdough bread, it is I would say, recent trend. I mean, I know that it is something that's been around for years and years and years, but it has recently flooded my For You page on TikTok, and I recently started my own little bread baking journey myself. But what I've learned is that it is a hobby that those who are involved in it are very passionate about it. Those are often the best types of niches to find because those are often more specific and smaller, but have a lot of demand in those smaller communities and can be a great way to boost sales and see sales in your shop. I want to start off just by browsing through the elements on Kittl. I want to see if they have any type of sourdough bread elements. This is what I came up with. I have what I like to do in my spare time with the 3 different elements and just little phrases that are relevant to each of the icons. I did decide to curve this top text. What I used was the circle transformation feature. I just like the way that makes the design look a little bit better. The only thing that I still want to do is I'm going to change the background really quick. I want to actually make the design white. I think that just adds a little bit more of a feminine touch. I like the all white. One more thing I'm going to do is I am going to add a texture to this design, kind of like with the first design. I like to use the alpha mask that makes it transparent, and I like to clip the content. I just love the grainy look that it gives. I think it looks very nice. And here's what the design would look like on a final mock-up. You can try Kittl for free with the link in the description and use code Taylor, PODYT. That will get you 25% off of a Kittl Pro plan, which is the plan that I use. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one.